and several people have raised the fact that this is an architecture, and that's a good slide into Gary at Illumio. There's a whole bunch of capability that you all put in place here that's part of this architecture, and a very important part that, quite frankly, often gets overlooked. Tell us about Illumio, what you all do, and then what you all are doing as far as implementing this capability across the agencies.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. Yeah, so here at Illumio, we're focused on what happens after an attack is successful, and we're starting to see a lot of agencies starting to ask themselves that very same question about not how do I keep trying to prevent the attack, but what happens when the attack is successful. Here at Illumio, we're about containing breaches, making sure that initial breach doesn't turn into a cyber disaster, and we're really starting to see an uptake in my conversations with agency leads. DoD is honestly leading the way in this arena, really looking at, how do they continue operations after a breach or in the middle of a breach, right? You can't just shut everything off, if you're in the middle of a military operation. That doesn't work. It might, in theory, work for a business who could say, we'll lose some money, but we'll take the risk. The military can't do that. So they've kind of been leading the way in this whole, how do you look at, while you're continuing to focus on preventing those breaches, acknowledging the fact that breaches are inevitable, they're going to happen. So how do you limit the impact of those breaches? So we have really seen a refocused effort on trying to answer that question from agency heads and CISOs.